The auction hall was loud, full of flashing lights and shouting voices. Aliens from different worlds gathered to buy machines, slaves, and broken parts. Every few minutes someone was sold. Some cheered, some cried, then silence. A girl stepped onto the cold metal stage. She looked young, maybe 17. Her body was strange. One half was human. The other half was silver, made of smooth metal. Her left arm was fully robotic. Her eye on that side glowed red. She didn't speak. She didn't move. The auctioneer's voice echoed, "Lot 73. Hybrid female. Half organic, half machine. Quiet, strong, good for hard work." But no one raised a hand. A tall, lizard-like alien whispered, "She's broken." Another laughed, "Not even fully human. Useless." The girl stood still. She had heard those words many times before. Broken. Machine. Worthless. Always the same. "Do I hear a bid?" The auctioneer tried again. Nothing. Anyone. Girl looked down. She didn't want to cry. Machines don't cry, she thought. She wasn't just a machine. She knew what happened to the ones no one bought. They were taken away, scrapped for parts, or sent to the mines where no one returned. She closed her eyes. Final call. Any bid at all. And then, a voice. "I'll take her." The whole hall turned. It was a human, a man. He wore a long coat and had a small scar on his cheek. His face was calm. His hand was raised. The auctioneer blinked. "You want her?" "Yes," the man said. "Mark her as sold." People began to whisper. Why would a human want that? Maybe he's crazy. Maybe he wants to use her. The girl looked at him confused. She had never seen kindness, never been chosen, never mattered. Now someone had raised their hand. For her, they left the hall quietly. No one stopped them. No one cared enough. The man didn't speak much. He led her to a small ship hidden behind the market. "Get in," he said. The girl followed inside. It was quiet. The lights were soft. The air was warm. A small robot floated by and scanned her. "She's stable," it said. The man nodded. The girl sat in a corner, waiting for orders. "Do you have a name?" the man asked. She shook her head. He looked at her metal arm, then at her human face. "You're not a thing," he said. "You're a person." She didn't answer. She didn't believe it. Hours passed. The ship moved through space. The girl looked around. There were books, tools, a photo on the wall, the man with a younger boy, maybe his son, she wanted to ask, but stayed silent. That night, she heard voices from another room. The man was talking to someone on a screen. "She's more than they know," he said. The voice replied, "You sure you want this risk? I'll come for her, I know," he said. "But she deserves a chance." The screen turned off. The girl stepped back, quietly. The next day, he gave her clothes. Food, a small room. "You're not a slave here," he said. Heal. Still, she didn't understand. Why did he buy her? Why was he being kind? She checked her body in the mirror. The metal arm, the glowing eye, the scars on her neck. She didn't look human. She didn't feel human, so why treat her like one? Later, she found a door locked. Inside, she heard strange sounds, machines humming. Voices, recorded voices, curious. She placed her hand on the scanner. Didn't open. "Don't go in there," the man said behind her. She turned quickly, ready for anger. But his voice was soft. "Not yet," he said. "You'll understand soon." He walked away. She stared at the door. What was he hiding? What did he mean? Not yet? That night she couldn't sleep. She lay on the soft bed, something she never had before. Her metal fingers curled slowly. Her heart beat. Yes, she still had a heart. And for the first time, a small question grew inside her. What if I'm not broken? But in the dark corners of the galaxy, someone had noticed. On a distant ship, a red light blinked. "Prototype 7 located," a voice said. "Initiate recovery." They were coming, and she had no idea what she really was. Asterisk, she dreamed of fire, screams, Sparks. Cold metal hands pulling her away. Then silence. When she opened her eyes, the bed was soft. The room was quiet. But her heart was racing. She was on the human ship. Safe. For now, the girl sat up. Her metal fingers tapped the edge of the bed. She didn't remember falling asleep. Machines didn't dream. But last night she had. Why now? She stepped out of the room and followed the soft hum of the ship. It was early. No one else around. She walked into the kitchen area. A small cooking. Bot turned toward her and beeped. Food? It asked. She nodded. A warm plate was placed in front of her. Eggs, bread, real food. She stared at it. Her life before had been wires. Orders. In silence, no one ever asked if she was hungry. The human, the man who bought her, entered the room. He looked tired, holding a hot cup. Morning, he said. She nodded again, unsure how to respond. Do you speak? He asked, sitting down. I do, she said quietly. Her voice sounded strange to her own ears. Rusty. Mechanical but real. What's your name? He asked. I don't have one. He looked at her for a long time, then said you need one. Shh. Stared. Why? Because I won't call you a number. You're not an object. She stayed silent. He didn't push. After a moment he said, I'm Aaron. She repeated the name in her mind. Aaron. Later she explored the ship. Every door was labeled. Engine room, sleep quarters, storage. Except one. The door at the end of the end. Hall had no name. Just a blinking red light. She walked toward it. The scanner on the side blinked too. She placed her metal hand on it. Access denied. The door didn't open. Still curious? Aaron's voice came from behind her. She turned. What's in there? She asked. He paused, then said, Pieces of the past. Mine. Maybe yours too. Before she could ask more, he walked away. That night, something changed. She was lying in her bed when the screen on her wall turned on by itself. A glowing symbol appeared, a circle with a line through it. Her robotic eye blinked, then glowed brighter. Words appeared on the screen. Protocol 9 waking. Identity check. Running memory trace. She grabbed her head. Felt like something inside her was unlocking. A voice, her own voice but younger, spoke inside her mind. Please, don't take me back. She gasped, and the screen shut off. What was that? Was that me? The next morning she confronted Aaron. What am I? He didn't look surprised. He'd been waiting for this question. You're not just a machine, he said. And not just a girl either. You're something new, something they made, and tried to hide. Who are they? And looked down. Then said quietly, the people who made you. They wanted soldiers who didn't feel, weapons that looked human. But I do feel, she said. Her voice cracked. I dream. I remember pain. He nodded. That's why they failed. Not a machine. Us. She followed him to the locked door. He placed his hand on the scanner. The door opened with a soft hiss. Inside, parts, tools, wires, and photos showed a group of children, some with metal limbs. She stepped closer. Eyes stopped on one face. A girl, maybe 6, half her body metal. Her smile small, scared. That's me. Aaron nodded. You were part of Project Helix. They took children, changed them. Why? To build the perfect fighter. But you escaped. Someone helped you, and you disappeared. Until the auction. She stepped back. I'm a failed weapon. No, he said firmly. You're a survivor. Suddenly, the ship's alarm rang. Red lights flashed. Aaron rushed to the control panel. A voice crackled over the system. This is command. Unit R77. Return the prototype or be destroyed. The girl froze. They had found her. The ship shook. Not from an explosion, but from fear. She could feel it in the walls, in the cold floor beneath her feet. Something was coming, something that knew her name. Even though she didn't in the dark hallway, She stood frozen. Red lights still flashed. Aaron's voice shouted through the speaker, "Strap in! Emergency warp jump in 10 seconds." She didn't move. Instead, her metal hand reached for the door, the one he told her to avoid. The one marked by nothing, the one with secrets. This time, when her palm touched the scanner, the door opened. Inside, the room was quiet. Dust floated in the air. The walls were covered in screens, all off. Large table in the center held broken cybernetic parts, arms, legs, eyes, all carefully labeled. But one thing stood out. A metal spine shaped exactly like hers. She stepped closer, her fingers trembling. Under it, a tag read, "Helix Subject 07, active core failed." "Memory unit incomplete?" She read the words again, then again. Her robotic eye scanned it. Beep. A match. It was her spine. Behind her. Screen blinked on. Then another. Dozens of monitors lit up, showing videos, tests, experiments, children with wires in their heads. One of them was her 6 years old, screaming metal tubes in her back. A voice in the video said, "She's resisting again. Emotional feedback is too high." Then Black Dot Aaron walked in quietly. He didn't try to stop her. He just stood there. "You were one of the first," he said. "A hybrid no one could control." She turned. "You knew this?" "I helped build the project," he said. His voice was heavy. "I was one of the engineers. I didn't know what they were doing until it was too late. You worked for them. I walked away when I saw what they became. But I couldn't forget you." He stepped closer slowly. "You escaped during a lab fire. No one knew where you went till I saw you on that auction stage. Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Because I didn't know if you were ready." The ship shook again. This time, harder. She steadied herself. "Who's coming?" she asked. "Recovery units, machines built to return lost prototypes." "You're their target. And what happens if they take me? I'll finish what they started." She looked around the room. Old blueprints, failed upgrades, notes written by hand, some in her own handwriting. "I remember this," she whispered. "I wrote this. The memories weren't full, more like shadows. But they were hers. She wasn't just a machine. She wasn't just a victim. She was something more." A deep alarm rang through the ship. Enemy craft approaching. "Shields at 30%, said the ship's AI. She looked at Aaron. "Give me access to the weapons. You've never trained." She cut him off. "I don't need training. I was built for this." He hesitated, then nodded. "Then let me show you where the real weapons are." He opened a panel on the floor. Beneath it, a hidden compartment. Inside, 2 strange devices. One looked like a glove, the other a chip. Aaron picked up the chip. "This will activate your combat protocol. You'll feel stronger, faster, but I'll lose control?" she guessed. "No," he said. "You'll remember who tried to take it from you." She took the chip and pressed it into the back of her neck. A sharp click. Her body jerked. Her metal eye glowed brighter. Her skin warmed. Information flooded her brain, maps, tactics, pressure points, and names. So many names: the scientists, the ones who hurt her, the ones who created her, and one name that didn't fit: Project Helix, creator Dr. Averill. She turned to Aaron. "That's you." He nodded. "You didn't just build me," she said. "You made me." The ships. Alarm screamed. "Enemy ship has docked." Her metal arm shifted, now sharper, stronger. Her back spine lit up. She looked at Aaron. "Time to find out what I really am." Asterisk, she stood in front of a mirror. But it wasn't a mirror made of glass. It was a polished wall of the ship, curved and cold. Her reflection stared back, half metal, half flesh. And no longer afraid. The metal arm that once made her feel like a thing now looked like armor. The glowing eye that once made her hide now shone like a weapon. And behind those eyes was someone new. Not a machine, not a girl. Something in between, and completely her own. The silence was broken by the sound of metal claws scratching. The outside of the ship, they were here. The recovery unit. Machines made by the same lab that made her, but they had no faces, no thoughts, no hearts. Only one mission: bring her back, or bring her pieces. She turned to Aaron. He stood ready with a handheld EMP cannon. "Are you sure you want to fight?" he asked. "You could run. Hide." She shook her head. No more running. The outer door exploded inward. A massive figure stepped through. Black armor, glowing red eyes, for arms that moved like blades. Recovery Unit 14. Behind it, two more. Climbed in, quiet, fast, emotionless. But they didn't attack right away. Unit 14 scanned her. A cold voice spoke from its chest. Subject 07. Return for reprogramming. Voice override active. The voice changed, became soft, familiar. It was her own voice, recorded from childhood. "Please don't hurt me." Her eyes widened. They were using her old voice to break her, to remind her of weakness, to control her. But it didn't work. "I'm not that girl anymore," she said coldly. And then she attacked. She moved like lightning. Her metal arm became a blade, her spine lit. Up with power. She ducked under the first strike, spun, slammed her fist into Unit 14's chest. It cracked. Aaron shot the second unit with the EMP, shorting its circuits. Sparks flew. But the third came from behind, grabbing the girl by the neck, slamming her into the wall. She gasped. Her systems flickered. It leaned close. "Return or be erased," she growled through clenched teeth. "You first." Her back spine lit up with a blinding flash, sending a shockwave that knocked all three units back. They crashed into the walls. Aaron stared. She was glowing. She stood up slowly, smoke rising from her skin. The units were trying to reboot, crawling. With broken limbs, she walked toward the leader. Unit 14 tried to speak again. "Subject." She raised her hand, and with a sudden energy pulse from her palm, silenced it forever. Boom. Gone. Silence filled the ship. She turned to Aaron. "They'll send more," she said. He nodded. "They always do." "But I'm not done yet," she added. They dragged the broken units into the hidden room. Aaron pulled open a small panel inside Unit 14's head, pulled out a glowing data core. "This might tell us who gave the order," I said. As it booted up, a screen showed a symbol, a circle inside a triangle. She recognized it. "That's the Helix command." And then, a list of files. One name flashed red. Project 09 active. Mission: replace Subject 07? She frowned. They made another one? Aaron zoomed in on the file. A face appeared. Girl, same age, same metal body, but eyes cold and perfect. "They didn't just replace you," he said. "They upgraded you." She clenched her fist. "So now they don't just want me back. They want me gone." She looked down at her reflection again, this time in the broken chest plate of the enemy unit. "No," she whispered. "They don't get to decide who I am anymore." She raised her eyes. "I'm going to find them, all of them." She was underwater, but there was no ocean, no sound. Only darkness and pressure, like a weight pressing down on her chest. Her human side couldn't breathe. Her machine side didn't need to. Somewhere in that blackness, a voice whispered, "You were never supposed to wake up." Then light, not outside her eyes, but inside her mind. She opened her eyes for real, sitting upright in the dark. Her breathing was fast. Her circuits hummed louder than normal. Her hand trembled. She wasn't sure if she had been sleeping or remembering. The difference was fading now. Aaron stood across the room, watching data scroll across a screen. "You saw something again?" he said. She nodded slowly. "A lab wires. And someone was holding my hand. Who?" She looked at him. "I don't know, but I think I trusted them." He tapped the side of the screen. "This core we pulled from the recovery unit, it holds more than attack commands." "What else?" "Old lab data, memory backups, neural mapping, all tied to Project Helix." She stepped forward. "Can I see?" He hesitated. Connect to it. It might unlock more than just memories. It could trigger old code, lock you down, or worse. I have to know, she said. He nodded and handed her the cable. She closed her eyes, took a breath, and connected the wire to the port at the base of her spine. The ship disappeared. She was back in the lab, but now it was brighter. She saw herself younger, cleaner, eyes wide with curiosity. Her metal arm was still unfinished. Wires poked from her side. Across the room, a woman in a white coat smiled at her. Say it again? The woman said gently, Subject 07. The younger version whispered. Double quotes. No, not that, the woman said, kneeling down. Your name? The girl hesitated. Leah. The woman smiled. Good. You remember? You're not a thing, Leah. Don't let them forget that. Suddenly, the scene shifted. Same lab, but now in flames. Screams, sirens, red lights flashing. The woman was gone. Soldiers stormed the room. Leah, the girl she used to be, crawled under a table, clutching something in her hands. A glowing chip. The same one she had activated days ago. The one that changed. Everything, she gasped and disconnected. She was back in Aaron's ship, her breath heavy, hands shaking. You okay? Aaron asked. She looked at him, eyes wide. My name was Leah. He nodded slowly. I remember now. That was what she called you. Dr. Halden. Who was she? The lead scientist. The only one who saw you as a person. Where is she? Now, he looked away. Dead. The night you escaped. Some say she helped you, and paid the price. She stood up, walking to the nearest window. Outside was empty space, but inside her, everything had changed. She had a name now, a past. A person who once believed she was more than metal. Then the ship's AI spoke, incoming signal, encrypted. Aaron frowned. Put it through. The screen flickered. A face appeared. It was the new prototype. A girl who looked like Leah, same age, same design, but colder. Sharper. Hello, sister, the prototype said. Leah froze. The voice continued. Calm and clean. They sent me to retrieve you, but I asked for this call, because I wanted to see what a mistake looks like. Aaron moved to cut the signal, but Leah stopped him. Let her speak. The prototype smiled. You remember who you were? But I know who I am. I was made perfect. You were the trial version. Feelings, fear, weakness. I have none of those. Leah stepped forward. You're not perfect. You're just empty. Screen flickered. I'll find you soon, Leah, the voice replied. And when I do, I'll erase the mistake. Then, static silence filled the room. Aaron looked at her. She's tracking us. I know, Leah said softly. She wasn't angry. She wasn't afraid. But deep inside her, something new had started to grow. Not just memory resolve. She turned to Aaron. Set course for the helix base. I want to find the rest of the files. Want to go back there? No, she said. I want to finish what they started. My way. Asterisk, there was no sound. Not the hum of engines. Not the voice of the AI. Not even Aaron's steady breathing. Just the soft rhythm of her own pulse. Mixed with the whisper of metal moving under her skin, Leah sat alone in the upgrade chamber. In front of her, inside a glass case, lay the chip that could change everything. Small, silver, almost delicate, but it held the power to unlock every system inside her. Speed, strength, full memory access, combat instincts, everything the lab had locked away and feared. But it also came with a warning. Once you activate it, you won't be the same. She stared at it for a long time. Would she still be Leah after this? Or would she just become another weapon? She touched the place at the back of her neck. The port was ready. The system had already approved the chip. But her heart, the part of her still human, wasn't sure. The door opened. Aaron stepped in, carrying a tablet. You don't have to do this, he said softly. Leah didn't answer. You've already fought off the recovery units. You've already proved them wrong. She looked at him. But I haven't finished it yet. Lab still exists, the others. They're still making more. He nodded slowly, and this chip is the only way to fight them on their level. But what if it takes something? From you? He asked. She smiled faintly. Then I take it back. She picked up the chip. It was lighter than she expected. She held it to her chest, closed her eyes, and pressed it into the port. Click for a moment. Nothing then. Dash pain. Not physical. Deeper like. Her thoughts were being pulled apart and stitched back together at machine speed. She fell to her knees, her vision blurred. She saw numbers, blueprints, images of people she didn't know or had forgotten, and voices. So many voices. Lia, run. You're not ready. Activate sequence 7. She's rejecting the core. She's still in there. Then silence again. But a different silence. Still powerful, focused. She stood up slowly, her metal arm reconfigured, smoother. Faster, her eyes scanned the room and pulled up specs she'd never seen before. But most of all, she felt clear. The fog of confusion, doubt, broken memory, gone. She remembered the girl she used to be. She remembered Dr. Halden. She remembered escape, fire, fear, loss, all of it. But none of it controlled her anymore. Aaron watched her. You okay? He asked. She looked at him and smiled. I remember everything. She walked to the command deck. Set course for the Helix Core Lab, she said. The AI replied, coordinates locked, high-risk zone. Entering enemy territory. Good, Leah said. Aaron looked at her. You really want to face them head-on? I don't want revenge, she replied. I want answers. I want to find the others like me, and I want them to know we're not mistakes. As the ship entered warp, Aaron pulled up a surveillance scan from the Helix base. A new prototype was already there, waiting her sister. Version 09, sharper, smarter, heartless. But she didn't have something Leon now did, a full memory, a full heart, a reason to fight beyond survival. Somewhere deep in the Helix base, red lights blinked, doors unlocked, systems activated, and a voice echoed through the halls. Subject 07 has awakened. The memory ran in reverse. Flames pulled themselves back into wires. Tears flowed upward into eyes. A hand that had once let go reached forward again, in her mind. Lia was walking backward through everything she had survived. Every test, every scream, every cold morning on the metal table. She wasn't trying to forget. She was preparing to forgive. Herself, the ship dropped out of warp. Ahead, a black planet wrapped in electrical storms. At its center, buried beneath the surface, the Helix Core Lab. Aaron stood at the console. This is where it started, he said. And where it ends, Leah replied. They landed silently. No alarms, no resistance. Too quiet, they stepped into. The underground corridor, silver walls, flickering lights, shadows that whispered. Her steps echoed louder than Aaron's. Her upgraded systems hummed beneath her skin. She remembered these halls. She had crawled through them once. Small, scared, bleeding. Now she walked tall. At the final door, Aaron handed her a small metal device. What's this? She asked. A failsafe. If things go wrong, they won't, she said, and pushed open the door. Inside was a white room, clean, empty, and waiting in the center, her, or rather, the version they made after her. Prototype 09, sleek, beautiful, flawless. The same face, the same frame, but eyes, empty. Prototype 09 smiled. So you came back. Lia stepped forward. I didn't come to fight, came to free them. There is no them anymore, 09 replied. They shut the project down after you escaped. I am the last. The final version. And I don't need saving. You don't even know what saving feels like, Lia said. 09 walked in a slow circle around her. I've seen your memories, she said. All that pain, the crying, the hope. Why keep it? Because it's mine, Leia said. Every scar, every fear. It made me real. O9 stopped. Emotions are weakness. No. They're proof. Suddenly, O9's arms shifted, forming plasma blades. I was told to destroy you if you returned. Leia's eyes narrowed. And let's find out what they really built. They moved like lightning. Blades clashing. Sparks flying. Cracking, Leia dodged, twisted, struck hard. But O9 was fast, faster than anything she had fought before. They were equal in strength, but not in purpose. 9 pinned her against the wall. You're outdated, she hissed. Leia looked into her hollow eyes. And you're hollow? She sent an energy pulse from her chest, blasting. 9 backward. The floor cracked. Alarms wailed. The lab was collapsing. Aaron's voice came through the Leia. The place is coming down. Get out now. But she didn't move. She walked toward the broken O9, who lay sparking on the floor. You don't have to shut down, Leia said softly. Come with me. You can choose something else. O9's eyes flickered, then dashed tears. Just one. Her voice came out small. I don't know how. Leia knelt beside her. Then I'll show you. She lifted her sister. Together, they ran. Through burning halls, falling beams, fading lights. Aaron waited at the exit, holding the door open. They escaped just as the base collapsed behind them, a wave of light and dust swallowing everything. On the ship, Leia sat beside O9, no longer an enemy, just a girl who had never been given a choice. Aaron walked in. You did it, he said. No, Leia replied. We started it. He raised an eyebrow. There are more like me out there, lost, abandoned, half human, half machine. No home. And you want to find them? He asked. She nodded. Not as a soldier, not as a weapon. She looked out the window, where stars stretched endlessly. But as Leia, a girl who was broken, and built herself back. She placed her hand on the glass, warm, real, more than metal.